We had a tough series and we lost quite badly in the series. But if you see the reasons why we had a bad series, all of a sudden you will see there were lots of injuries that happen. Maybe once your bowling department starts looking a bit weak, all of a sudden the pressure shifts onto the batsman. So I think it's a reflection of all these things. Being a team sport, all the three departments, you need to do well. You can't really carry the team for a consistent period of time just on one department. So there are quite a few things that we need to consider before just saying we had a bad loss, because all these things had a big impact on the whole series. Playing with three bowlers on these conditions, it's a bit tough to maneuver around with the bowlers. Well, again, you shouldn't really have a revenge-like feeling, because once you have that word in your mind, you get desperate to perform and you start putting pressure on the whole side. So rather than taking it or having a look at the opposition in that way, what's very important is to again stick to the basics. As I always say, we'll see how many bowlers and the batsmen get fit out of the 9 or 11 injuries that we have got, and what kind of a cricket they have played. I think there'll be quite a few games, but if we get decent practice sessions also before the start of the England series, it will be good. But we'll exactly see where we stand and who all players are available for selection. There have been a few exceptions, a few bowlers who can bowl at a bit quicker than some of our other bowlers, but we have seen is it's a difficult task to consistently bowl over 140 plus. So what we are looking at is somebody who is quite smart, but of course it can only come once they have played quite a few games, and once they have the kind of exposure that needed. So expecting just someone to come up and bowl 150 odd kilometers an hour, it's a very difficult task. Of course, we have seen there are a few bowlers who can bowl slightly quicker than some of our bowlers, but it's not only the pace, because what we have seen is not only the pace where you can make a difference. You have to be smart with your field settings. Ashwin, quite used to bowling with three fielder or even two fielder outside, but the condition is slightly different. So I think I've given him that chance, and I'm happy the way he bowled overall, especially because as I said, we lost all the tosses, and we had to bowl under these conditions where the ball was getting wet, which meant the spinners didn't get the kind of turn they could have if you're bowling under the sun. So I think overall quite happy with his performance. They are a very good side, irrespective of the format they are playing. They are a very good side in the test format, like we saw, and of course the ODIs, because they have a fixed set of bowlers. And what's important is as they play more and more cricket, they'll get slightly better. Of course, they know the English condition very well, but slowly they'll get to play at different places. Of course, subcontinent being slightly different, because you don't get the same pace and bounce, but at the same time, fast bowlers, they have something different, a bit of reverse swing to control the batsman. So I think with more and more games, they'll get smarter and smarter. Of course, the batting line looks quite settled, and not to forget, they have players like Broad and Bresnan, can bowl fast, quick, right lines, and at the same time, bat down the order, which means they bat very deep. So all these things really help in making a team, because you can really select 5 bowlers, 5 specialist bowlers, and have maybe 2 part-timers who can really contribute, and overall that helps strengthen the team as a unit. It has been disappointing, but it's good to see the morale is up. They are up for a fight. Every time they turn up on the field, whether for a practice session or for a game, they want to give their best. They love challenges, and that's what makes it a bit interesting for me. You don't have to motivate them, because it gets a bit tough to motivate players, but that's our job. But if motivation is not needed, we can put in that same effort in some of the other areas. So I'm good to see we lost quite a few games, weather not being on our side, luck not being on our side. But as I always say, it's not about thinking too much about the things that are beyond our control, and I'm glad the team has reacted in the same way. All these youngsters are part of our future, so it's not about just selecting one or two. Whoever played or got a chance, they did decently well.